Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I am who I am. My name is my name. And welcome into whatever episode this is of Shooting the Shit with Sands, man. Here we are again. New year, new me. All right? New Bucks, new Heat. Oh, my God. Am I rapping over here? I came back rapping? Jesus. So on today's pod, pretty simple, bro. We're going to talk about the Heat a little bit. I'm not going to exhaust y'all with my Heat talk. We're going to talk about another NBA team, the Suns, who I need to know where they're going after this version of the team is done after this year, in my opinion. And I'm here to admit that I was wrong and they should have traded for KD. I don't know if I ever dropped that podcast, but it is what it is. I said it. I said they shouldn't trade these guys for KD. We'll get into what I meant by that and all this shit. And then the whole podcast is going to be about the NFL fucking playoffs, the Bucks versus Cowboys, Eagles and Chiefs. We need to talk about those guys with the bye. Those are some really good fucking football teams, man. And we'll get into all the other matchups. So y'all enjoy the pod. Thank you for listening. What up, man? Hey, so to start off the podcast, I really want to talk about the Heat. Obviously, it's my team, whatever, and then we're going to get into the Suns, where so I already recorded the Heat and Sun portion, but it didn't load, so I don't care. I'll just go at it. But me and Chris had a talk about it, about the Suns and their future and all that. It's very, very odd with them, what's going to happen to them. I want to see what's going to happen because I don't think it's going to turn out well. Even though I think Devin Booker is like top 10 alive. Like I really do think Book is like that. I really do. So when I previously recorded this, I had a discussion with myself and y'all, of course, about how the super teams are dead. So I'll get into that as I go into the Suns because I think it does correlate to the Suns with the rumors with Kevin Durant wanting a trade in the preseason in August when I fucking deleted 17 podcasts, whatever happened. But with the Heat, this is the problem with this team, okay? We're 21-20. You can cry all you want about injuries and Jimmy missing 15 games. I hate to tell the Heat fan base, we are not the only team in the NBA, man. We are not the only team. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Imagine being a Sixers fan. Joel is out on rest and with his sore foot. Maxey goes out for a month? Damn near a month. And then Harden goes out for a month or two. Like, we're not the only ones. The Mavericks are missing role players. The Celtics signed Danilo Gallinari. Robert Williams is hurt. Danilo Gallinari tore his ACL. He's out for the season. We aren't the only team that exists. We aren't. Get over yourself when you're in a fan base. You have to realize that this shit happens around the league. Anthony Davis is playing like a top 5, top 10 player in the world. Hurts his foot, ankle, whatever it was when he was in midair. LeBron has missed games. Like, we aren't the only fan base. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George haven't played but 10, 15 games on the season? It's a joke. I know that's not the real number. Fuck you. When you're in your own world and just watch your own team, that's all you see is your own team versus these teams. And that's where all these random skewed positions on teams begin, is where you only watch your own team and however they perform against you is what you think of them. It's not smart. There's a lot of teams out there dealing with injuries. Even a team like the Pistons, where, no, they're not going to make the playoffs, but you don't know with Cade Cunningham. They're missing their number 1 pick in the draft. There are teams out here that are injured, and we just become numb to it because we just focus on our own teams. Get over that shit. All right? That's the first point. Second point, we're lucky to have guys that can step in and play regardless of who's in the lineup. We got guys who are battle tested. Duncan Robinson went to a finals. Max Strus can hoop. Gabe Vincent can hoop. Like, we're lucky to have those pieces. But when you look at the Heat, we have a lot of flaws. The biggest problem is we are tiny. Yes, Jeff Van Gundy just kept, it was like every other sentence he would talk. You know, it's so weird with Jeff Van Gundy, with JVG. He goes silent for 6 minutes out of a game. It's so crazy when you watch him. You'll forget Jeff Van Gundy is on the call because he's just sitting there analyzing the game. And then he comes and he just speaks incredible wisdom, incredible logic, incredible just basketball IQ, intelligent shit. But he just kept talking. Like, when we're playing the Suns, they're like, yo, the Heat are so tiny. And it's been a problem all year. So let's not even talk about how we have 3 guys on the court that are undersized for their position. That being Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, and Caleb Martin. Let's not talk about that. That's just the basis. Yeah, we are small. And how it affects the entire game plan. On defense, we're running zone at a higher percentage than last year. We're running it every game, all game, basically. Because when you really look at it, okay, let's go man, right? Let's go man, and let's just put us against a random team in my head. I'm not thought this out. Let's say we go against the Blazers. Okay, that literally popped in my head because I love Dame Lillard. All right. Who's guarding who? Because the last time we guarded the Blazers, Jimmy was shadowing Dame Lillard. So that means you got Tyler Hero on Anthony Simmons or Kyle Lowry on Anthony Simons. I apologize. Simons. I'm just in my shit. And then you get to Bam on Nurkic. Who's on Jeremy Grant? Caleb Martin? Yes, that's who's on him. But is it a good matchup? No. And I think Caleb is an amazing... Dude, Caleb Martin is an amazing defender. But if anybody has a post game, he is done for. He's barbecue chicken in the post. And it's not because of his defense. It's because of his size. That was the thing that PJ brought to the team that we do miss. That's why we need a Jay Crowder acquisition. I'm telling you, if we get Jay Crowder, this team changes in a whole. Just that little, he's been here before. He knows how we play, and he can guard multiple positions in the post. Like PJ Tucker, has more girth than Caleb Martin does in the post. So when you go against teams like the Hawks, when you have Okongwu and John Collins, there's a huge mismatch there. Oh my God, the retainer. And you really can't do anything with it. It's almost like you're hopeless down there in the post. And then you go to a 2-3 zone. They go high post. And then you have a dude like Max Strus, or how we usually format it with Tyler in the corner because we want the length up top coming down for weak side help. That's not even help. And Bam has to do it. The amount of weight on Bam's shoulders in this zone defense is appalling. Like, if you watch the Heat frequently, you know there is so much on Bam's shoulders, mostly with Jimmy missing, half the games of the season. There is so much on Bam's shoulders defensively. So much. There's just too many flaws in this team. We're 7th in 3-point attempts, but 23rd in percentage. There's this weird thing going on with our team where we're relying on the 3 ball, but we're not shooting it well. And we've never seen a Heat team like this where we're just chucking threes and not making them. When we went to the finals, we were top 10 in every important statistical category. Offensive efficiency, these are mine. Offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, 3-pointers made per game or attempted, and the percentage correlated. Those are the ones that I look for when I'm looking at playoffs. Your point margin. We were top 10 in point margin. And being a top 10 team doesn't make you a contender necessarily. But if you're top 5, let's say it's you go 10 teams and you're top 5 in each conference. If you're a top 10 team, then I mean, fuck. You got a good chance to win the title. Mostly now with all the parity. The parity is crazy right now in the NBA. We got 5 teams in the Western Conference above 500. That's it. 5 teams. And that's crazy to say. But this Heat team has a lot of flaws. And if you want to make a move for somebody other than Jay Crowder, you're talking about that little move other than Jay Crowder going and getting, let's say we go get Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons. Let's say we go get him. That's going to include a couple players shipping off. That changes your whole rotation. That's a rotational just explosion when it comes to minutes. If you downgrade Caleb Martin from a starting 4 to a backup 4, and now we got to match him with Dedmon's minutes and Haywood Highsmith, like those are the things you have to look at when you're looking for this trade that you want to happen. Because we saw from the offseason, I feel like we were calling about Donovan Mitchell, but we never really went for it. You know? This Heat season has become, we are what we are, man. We see us go shot for shot with the fully healthy Nets for 3 quarters. Score 70 points by halftime. We come out the third quarter, we put up 16 points, they put up 13. Where is the consistency? There isn't any, and that's why you are in the play-in. We are what we are, man, and Heat fans have to accept it. Unless something drastic changes, we are what we are. The only thing that I love about this season is that it has become a Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo growth year. And watching those two guys, both under 25 years of age, 26 years of age, go out and average 22 with Tyler, 21 and 11 with Bam. Watching that, and I have nothing negative to say about Bam Adebayo right now, man. This guy is fucking hooping. You're talking about a guy, right, who where the first 2 slots on the All-NBA center team, really 3 for the last 5 years, have been given. Joel, Jokic, and Rudy. We have a new person. The Heat have somebody who from all the votes could be a top 15 player in the NBA. And now with the trade value and all that happened with Rudy, he's getting a realistic perspective of what he is. He is no difference maker. Oh no, my players can't drive for 15 to 18 of your 30-something minutes that you have. Oh no. How bad is that in this NBA in 2022, 2023? Oh, God. The Leaning Tower, a piece of shit. All right? That's what he is. And it's funny because now the real narrative came out. So I think Bam has a good shot of making third-team All-NBA center. That's a fact. Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this Heat team, and it all stemmed from being one shot away. For once, Miami got content. They got content. And guys, we can't forget Jimmy Butler is over that 31-year-old mark where careers start going on a downturn, where you start getting more injuries and you can't stay healthy. He's already doing knee management. Like, we got content at the worst possible time. And I'll say this. Me telling you that we are wasting a year of Jimmy Butler sounds absolutely insane to 29 other teams. Insane. Heat fans know that man is a top 5 to 8 player in the world in the playoffs, and you can deny that all you want. You can deny that. That Celtics team y'all all picked against the Warriors, Jimmy Butler fucking sunned that team. Sunned them. Jimmy Butler, when it comes to playoff time, is one of the best players in the entire world. And that's the thing you have to look at as you see Tyler and Bam grow. That's why you can't lose hope in the Heat from a fan perspective. Is that, okay, well, if Jimmy does his playoff thing and Bam doesn't do what he did last year and Tyler Hero doesn't miss game 5, 6, and 7 of an Eastern Conference final, people don't bring that up. And he was playing terrible that series, but he was also injured most of the year with his toe, his groin, back, all that shit. But if they just play up to barely their regular season standards, mostly Bam, you're talking about us in the finals again. And I would love to see the Warriors versus that Heat team with the switchability of all the defenders we had on the court. I would have loved to see that fucking series. I would have loved it. But that's about it on the Heat. I think they are an inconsistent, mediocre 500 team, and that's what we are. We're 21-20. We're a mediocre team. And yes, after this midway point, we can see an escalation in win record and all that. We can. It's the Heat. It's Spo. That's the one thing Heat fans can always hold on to. This is a winning organization. But, and the thing is, winning is a mindset. It isn't on the court. And I know that's so cliche, but it's so real. Winning is a mindset. Like, to me, Philly finally is over this hump of like, okay, we're a winning organization now. We're trying to make moves. We're trying to get to that next level. Boston has always been that. LA has always been that. It's a mindset. Even when LA has this dog shit roster they're pulling out, they think they're a contender. They think we're a winning franchise. And that's the difference in mindsets with a lot of franchises. Like if the Kings make the playoffs, just like compared to the Lions, the Lions and the Kings are a lot alike. Diehard fan bases that get let down a lot. And if they get to the play-in and all that shit, that's going to be huge for that franchise. That can turn your culture around real quick. All right? I don't know why my voice is so high-pitched, but it is. But yeah, it's just the Heat team is mediocre, whatever. All right, let's get to the Suns, and then we're going to go to the NFL playoffs, where I'm going to have a lot of fun. Okay? Give you some bets and all that. The point I wanted to make on the Suns is their future to me is bad. They don't have, and don't get it twisted, I think James Jones has done a really good job of putting that team together. I think he's a good GM. But you look at what's happening without Devin Booker, and this is by coincidence. This is why I have this take. All right, I watch a lot of basketball. But I just happen to make bets on these Suns games. So I've watched the Suns the last probably week, right? I watched the Knicks game, the Raptors game, the Heat game, and then the Cleveland game. All right? So I got my notes here. So with Devin Booker, got in the camera. With Devin Booker, they are 18-10. Without him, they are 2-11. All right? In the last 11 games, they're shooting 42% from the field, which is the third worst in the league. And they have the worst offensive efficiency in the NBA. And they have the worst offensive rating in the NBA. They're averaging less than 100 points their last 11 games without Devin Booker. And so I start going, okay, I'm going to get into the super team thing right now, okay? I'm going to branch off, but stick with me. I go, damn, so the core. It made me think of core players like CP3, Ayton, and Booker. And then I went, okay, what's the Heat's core? Tyler Hero, Jimmy, and Bam. Okay, and I started going through cores. Maxey, Harden, Embiid, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Like, I just started going through all these cores. And then I realized the super team is dead. It's become, in 2022 and 2023, the emphasis on very good role players. And I'll get into what that means. Very good role players being into your lineup over superstars that you haven't homegrown is almost impossible. Like KD and Kyrie make what combined? 70 million, damn near $70 million. How can you put a good core around them? Right? You trade James Harden, get Ben Simmons. You got Nicholas Claxton, a young player. You had Bruce Brown. You got Seth Curry with the trade too. That's a good little core. But when you look around the league, I started looking at the finals. And I started going, okay, what teams have been in the finals? Okay, the Warriors, what super team is that last year? Non-existent, right? The Celtics, are they a super team, or do they have two very good players that they drafted and they got lucky with that? I'm not saying every team has to draft that, but I think teams aren't willing to sacrifice their entire future to invest in two players and then surround them with literal bums. Like, for real, like, not good players. Royce O'Neal is a vet. I told y'all from the get-go, I like their lineup. I said that with Chris on the preseason preview. I said, yo, this fucking Nets lineup is nice. Royce O'Neal is a good player, man. Ben Simmons is a good player. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry. That's a great lineup. Joe Harris, the Watanabe, if that's how you say his name, guy came out of nowhere, just straight stroking that shit off the bench. It's crazy. But that doesn't happen for a lot of teams. A lot of the times, you know what you end up as? The fucking Lakers. You go in, you invest in Anthony Davis and LeBron. You get elite role player production from Rondo, from a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, from a Kuzma for cheap. That doesn't happen in this league. You don't get great production for cheap in the NBA. Because once a dude has one good year, go look at Julius Randle. And he's having a great year right now. I'm talking about to get the contract, you only need one good year. Pat Bev, go look at that shit. That's what you usually end up as, is the Lakers. Shitty contracts, shitty players, young players. You're praying will give a spurt to the team, some good play. That's it. You don't get what the Celtics have with Grant Williams and Robert Williams, Marcus Smart. Like, you don't draft in that. It's not luck, but it's rare. You don't get that. And that's why I think the super team is straight dead. All right. So it made me look at the Suns and I go, well, they have a pretty good core, but CP3, right? He's averaging 13, 4, and 8. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists on 42, 40, and 80 splits. You know who that's compared to? Which is crazy. Another point guard in the league that averages 13, 4, and 6. Kyle Lowry on 40, 34, and 86 splits. Like, that's what CP is. And when CP's active, they're 11 and 15. 11 and 15. When Devin Booker's active, they're 18 and 10, 2 and 11 without him, like I said earlier. CP's road isn't going to be smooth to retirement. And he's one of those dudes who's uber competitive and is going to retire too late to me. Because I think it's time for him to hang it up. He has no burst, no movement, no lateral quickness with the crossover. He can't get by any mismatches anymore. He's still a mid-range guy, but he can't get by any mismatches. But the one dude I started honing in on, right? I watched him against the Heat. And before that, I watched the Knicks and Toronto. When I saw him against Toronto, I saw length on him. I saw Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam switching on him. He plays soft. And I was like, okay, what stat will let me show how soft he is? I go to free throws. Against the Knicks, he had 0 free throws. He had 12 points and 5 boards. Against Toronto, he had 4 points, went 2 for 10, had 7 boards. 0 free throws. Against the Cavs, the game after the Heat game, he had 14, 11, and 6. Ooh, it's so pretty. Shot 38%, had 2 free throw attempts. And I'm not honing him into like, this is what the Suns need from him. I'm saying that trade deal we all thought would happen for Deandre Ayton where they'd get a package, I don't know if that happens. And if you're just a numbers guy, his numbers are great. But I saw him against the Heat drop 24 and 13, and there was no impact of him on the game. I didn't feel Deandre Ayton the whole game. I felt him in the first quarter where we were playing gap coverage. We're playing gap pick and roll coverage. We're gapping him out. And then he would hit the mid-range jumper. He hit like 5 in a row, and then we sealed that gap up, and he was fucked. He was probably scoring on Dwayne Dedmon's bum ass. I didn't feel his 24 and 13. And I start going back and looking at more numbers. He's a minus 62 in 11 fucking games, man. 11 games without Devin Booker. A minus 62 in plus minus. They have a whole 14-point difference in points per game since Devin Booker got hurt. And yes, I know he's 27 a game. I'm not trying to say Devin Booker isn't impactful. My point is the future going on. When you see the frustration of Deandre Ayton every single night towards Monty Williams, and you see how he plays, you see this like almost like a wilted human. You know what I mean? Like when CP came that one year, it was like when you got pussy and you thought it was going to change your life. Like you're like, damn, bro, my life on track now. Like, no, bro. Like the rent is due in 2 weeks. You work part-time at Burger King and you got to find a way to scrap together that money. You're still the same shit. That's what the Suns are right now. The Suns are realizing kind of like, okay, we got Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker. After that, what do you have? What do you have? Because Mikal Bridges is a great player. He ain't no fucking number 2. And DeAndre Ayton definitely ain't a number 2. The Suns are going to be the old Suns again. I don't know about being the worst team in the league, but they will be that team that's just a play-in team with a great player in Devin Booker until you ask for a trade. Devin Booker's still a baby. By the time he's 30, he could have 2 years on a new team. You get what I'm saying? Like, the Suns could just fall apart. And DeAndre Ayton having a problem with one of the most respected men, fuck a coach, respected men in the league is a problem. All they showed was a sideline cam against the Heat on ESPN. You saw it right there, the frustration. You saw it. That pussy will never change your life, man. She's just a woman. She's just a one-night stand, man. But yeah, I just thought it was weird, like, to look at this Suns team and see what they are, 20 and 21, and to think how the league looks at us, like the Heat, as like, they're whatever. The Suns are worse than us right now. They're down bad, man. They are down bad. And don't get it twisted. This whole minute restriction shit with CP is not real. He is playing 30 minutes every night he plays. He has not played well at all. They're acting like CP is playing 20 minutes a night. He's averaging 30 minutes a game. 30 minutes. That's a fucking starter. That's a lot of minutes. He has played horribly. He can't get by anybody anymore. And we'll have to see in the playoffs, because that's going to be a close one. But I don't know how this future looks. This could blow up right in front of him. And I will say this here, I think Mikal Bridges is worth more than DeAndre Ayton at this point in the season. I'll say it. And you may think that's obvious, but we're talking about a top 3 pick in the draft. The number 1 pick in the draft. Versus some kid that they traded for from Philly. Right? I think Mikal Bridges is worth way more than DeAndre Ayton. And the trade package may not show that, but I think that is just the facts. On to the NFL playoffs. Let's fucking get it. The NFL playoffs. Wowzers. It's time, man. We're going to get to the main event last with Dallas and Tampa Bay. But, so like, games like Seattle and San Francisco, I don't have much to comment on. All right? I don't. Rookie quarterbacks are like 8-23 or whatever the stat is in the first round. San Francisco's a 10-point favorite. Seattle hasn't come close to beating them all year. The Thursday night game, when it was a 2-possession game, San Francisco had control of that game the whole time. But my real thing was, I started looking. Jesus, quit vaping, Hunter. Quit vaping. I started looking and I started laughing at this quarterback group in the NFC. It's laughable. Because, when you're trying to break down games, I went to Tampa Bay and Dallas first, obviously, and I went quarterback matchup. Look at that. Look at the quarterback matchup. And then I started going through, I was like, Kirk Cousins, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, an old Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, like Daniel Jones, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what to say about it. Geno Smith. I'm just trying to name all the QBs so nobody's in their car going, Geno! You missed Geno! All right, dude. Calm down. Calm down. It would be a disappointment for the Eagles not to make it. So San Fran and Seattle. I'm going to get to the 1 seeds in a second because I feel like nobody is showing love to the 1 seeds because they don't have a game this week. Like, nah, let's talk about the 3-loss team. Like, can we talk about them? Can we talk about Patty? Right? And I'm going to have this take with Jalen that may piss y'all off. I don't care. But with San Francisco and Seattle, I think this is the only fair matchup coaching-wise. Todd Bowles, maybe Dayball in a coaching mismatch. And I'm not trying to disrespect Nick Sirianni. He's just not playing in this round. I'm talking about available opponents. Mike McCarthy might be the worst coach other than Todd Bowles in this whole shit. Honestly, he might be the worst one. And this is the only one that isn't a mismatch, but that going on that point, it doesn't mean anything. You can't cover 10 points with coaching to me. You can't. If this was Sean McVay, even though Kyle Shanahan kind of made him his son over the last, I don't know how many years, even they won the Super Bowl, it is what it is. I think Seattle and San Fran is face value. I think it's just, if Brock Purdy plays decent, they win. I don't know if Geno can shred this defense up. Like, this defense is, I mean, they're amazing. Top 10 in both categories. They're the best defense in the NFL right now, man. They are. It's them and the Eagles. And that's what I think this is a collision course of being. But we'll get to my predictions in a second. Let's talk about the Eagles, man. Let's talk about the Eagles, and then I'll talk about the other matchups. 4 players in the top 15 in sacks. A top 10 wide receiver. The best O-line in the NFL. Yes, I know Lane Johnson is hurt. He has an extra week off. It's going to be rough for him to come back on that. Okay, the hernia, whatever he has, the abdomen, whatever that is going on, that's an injury that everybody gets surgery for, and then they come back next year. He's like, fuck that. We got a chance at a run. And it sucks because it's a guy that the city of Philadelphia is behind, just like they were behind Carson Wentz. When you see Carson Wentz go out and you go win a Super Bowl, it's amazing. I'm not saying it takes anything away from it. But it's kind of shitty knowing, like, damn, bro, like Carson didn't win that bowl. And it's shitty knowing that Lane didn't win that bowl. Even the contributions through the first 17 are good enough. Like, and he's an Eagles lifer. You know what I mean? He's an Eagles lifer. Bro, they had him and Jason Peters. Man, fuck no. Ain't no fucking way. The one thing about the Eagles that I thought was impressive, like, I just went and backed up my own thoughts. I was like, bro, aren't they, like, insane in the first half? Am I crazy? They averaged the most points in the first half by, like, 3 points, which is a lot. A whole field goal is a lot to me when it comes down to averages. They averaged 17 points in the first half. They're on average to get 34 if they need to. Most of the time when you watch their games, they weren't in, like, these insanely close games until the fourth quarter. The Lions game. Off rip, week 1. That showed what the season almost was like, it was like unfolded in front of them. They're always up 24-0, and then next thing you know, it's 24-17. Oh shit! Well, Jalen goes and gets us a field goal or a touchdown. The game is over because they're just spamming the run game until it gets close, and then they rely on this quarterback. And I started going, weakness? Question mark. I was like, run defense, maybe? They're getting up 120 a game. They're in the middle of the pack of the league, I guess. But then you go and you look, they have easily the number one pass defense where they're only giving up 180 yards through the air a game in 2023. And that has to do with pass rush. That has to do with coverage. And now Gardner Johnson's back. The exploitation of that safety position was shown on display for the world to see while CGJ was out. Did I say it right? CGJ, yeah, Gardner Johnson. When you see that, like everyone wants to talk about the Bucks and how we let Sam Darnold cook us or how these random quarterbacks cooked us, when arguably the best safety on the planet, Antoine Winfield, is out, do you know how much that does for your defense, bro? I'm not comparing these guys to an Ed Reed or a Troy Polamalu, but you see what that safety position does for the defense. And you go, oh, I see why they're giving up these bombs, the miscommunication, the making up of a bad corner play on the outside, or just tackles in space, the blitzes we send Antoine Winfield on. That safety position is so crucial because you can't lock up these receivers. These receivers are too good, man. They're too good to just clamp up one-on-one. You got to have some safety up over the top, and you have to have a guy that can cover the whole field in the back. That's just a fact. So basically, I said their injuries were like the Lane injury. They're missing the best right tackle in football, him and Tristan Wirfs. Like they're missing the best right tackle in football. Yeah, that's their weakness. They had an injury. That's why it's so hard for me to pick against them. And then the Kansas City Chiefs. Were you in the boat with me? Because I was in the boat. I said I could see them finishing second to last in the division. I was all in on Denver, and I'm not dumb for doing that. I had to cut real quick, had to turn on the national championship game. But yeah, I'm not dumb for believing in Denver. Who would have thought Russ would come out and play like that? Who thought Nathaniel Hackett would be that bad at being a head coach? You know what I mean? And then I saw the Raiders with Darren Waller, Renfro, and Devontae, Josh Jacobs. I mean, they got hurt. Waller and Renfro missed, basically the whole season. After that Cardinals game, Renfro was out for most of the season, and then Waller was in with a hammy the whole year. All types of injuries. So that's kind of different. You know what I mean? But were you in the same boat as me with the Chiefs? And I think this is where Patty has brought himself to another level. And I'm going to have my Hurts take in a second. Hold on. Patty has brought himself to that point of Tom Brady, where whatever he does is expected. He can't do anything other than expected. And all these tweets about if Patty Mahomes did that, the Twitter would be crazy. That's true. But they don't do it. They don't do it like Patty. What do you talk? Bro, if I told you your receiving core, no Travis Kelce, was Juju Smith, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and McCole Hardman, you'd be like, God damn it, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Instead, Patty goes, well, he does have Travis Kelce. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. He goes, nah, I'm going to average like 340 a game, win the MVP most likely, and just cook. He can't do it without Tyreek Hill, they said. I think it's better to have questions than to come to solutions and answers before we get the answers to that question. Just have the question, can he do it without Tyreek? Just say that instead of going, he can't. Calm down. Let's see first. And my prediction was, it had nothing. I said Patrick Mahomes was the best quarterback in the league I thought the whole division would win 12 to 10 games. It wasn't that I thought Patty was dog shit. That's the difference between me and you. Yo, a lot of people out there had the Chiefs winning like 8 games. I'm like, what the fuck? I had them making the playoffs. I was like, yo, 3 teams can make the playoffs out of this division. Ended up being 2. And the other 2 were huge disappointments. So I wasn't far off. But Patty's greatness can't be defined yet. And you know why? Because it will never be defined. That guy is something we have never fucking seen before. And I need people to realize, like, it is hard to put into words how amazing that guy is. I don't give a fuck about the Chiefs. I watch Patty Mahomes every Sunday I can. This guy is fucking unbelievable. I have Tom Brady as my starting quarterback, and I'm saying this. Patrick Mahomes is the most unbelievable player I've ever seen play quarterback. He is better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to get into Rodgers' postseason failures and all that. He is better than Aaron Rodgers. He is something we have never seen. And that's what makes him great. This is my Jalen take. If Patrick Mahomes was on the Eagles, what would y'all be saying about Patty? I'm just asking because if the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, to the public, this is a shitty season. This is Jalen Hurts. Like, it is still, I hate to say this, it is actually still a thing. Like, can Jalen Hurts really take this team over the top? Have you seen the last 14 games he's played? Fuck the one he had this week and he was injured or hurt coming back from injury, whatever you want to say. Did you see the first 13, 12 weeks? Did you watch it? I did. We're looking at a special human. Fuck a player. Special human playing the quarterback position. Cowboys fans want to make it a discussion between Jalen and Dak. There is no discussion. Let's cut the shit. There is no discussion between Dak or Jalen. None. And I just want to know, like, if Patty was on this team, on the Eagles, or Justin Herbert, y'all would be talking about him so differently. The shit Jalen Hurts is doing, bro, the throws he has made, like, we're talking every week consistently. The weapon in that backfield that is number one is something that cannot be dealt with. The Eagles are the only team in the NFC, maybe the San Francisco 49ers, but have Tom Brady, so I think he can read an offense or a defense. Dude, I'm a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, and I know what my defense can do. He is the only quarterback that scares me, even after shitting on them last year. The growth as a player from last year to now, we are looking at a whole different quarterback. Whole different quarterback in another realm. And I thought he was good last year. He is amazing. MVP candidate. Not a fluke. This is going to keep happening. He may throw a couple more picks next year. Oh no. But this is some special shit we got going on in Philly. That's the only team I'm scared of. That was my only take. It's not something crazy, but I'm just asking, like, could you imagine another quarterback being on the Eagles right now? It wouldn't be the roster. It wouldn't be the pass rush. It wouldn't be the corners. It wouldn't be the receivers. It wouldn't be the O-line. It wouldn't be the running game. You'd be like, oh my God, this guy's arm talent is incredible. Dude, Jalen Hurts is just like, you can say, like, I'm being hyperbolic when I say he's not getting any credit. I'm not saying he's not getting any credit. I think that we're just tossing him out like, oh, he's an MVP candidate. Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, really good player. Yeah, MVP candidate. That's like what we're doing. 1 seed MVP. No, bro. Let's focus on what he's actually doing and stop just putting it to the side like, yeah, number 1 seed, only lost, 1 game as a starter? Put it to the side. Put it to the side. Tua's fucking 8-2 this year when he's a starter. The Dolphins are dangerous. You see? You see what I mean? I don't know his actual record. That was a guess. But yeah, I just had to throw some love to the Eagles and the Chiefs. The Chiefs are amazing, bro. What? It's Patty. Patty's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. What y'all think Aaron Rodgers was, I never thought of him like that. Never thought of A-Rod like that. He's entertaining to watch. Patty is a winner and has that oh shit factor. Oh fuck factor. He just did that shit. So, anyways, let's get to fuck it. Minnesota and the Giants. That's the biggest upset alert to me. All right? The biggest upset alert, because I don't think like the Bucks and Cowboys isn't an upset either way to me, because we have home field advantage and we're the underdog. I still don't think it's like a super upset if we beat the Cowboys, mostly how they're playing going into this playoffs very badly. Minnesota cannot run the ball. They can't run the ball. Their O-line is horrible. And I said it because I'm a Dalvin Cook owner in fantasy. The way they rely on Kirk Cousins is alarming. It is alarming. And you can win 11 one-possession games. You can do that. 11 one-score games, whatever you want to call it. You can do that. That's fine. That shit always comes back to bite you, bro. I hate to bring up the Heat again, but you're talking about a team that is a 500 team. We've been in 27, 28 out of 41 games or in clutch moments within 5 with 5 minutes left. It don't turn out your way every time. Mostly in the playoffs is when it's going to bite you in the fucking ass. When you got Kirk Cousins trying to do a game-winning drive. And Kirk's been hooping. I'm not trying to hate on Kirk. I'm just going off the last, 8 years that I've seen? That's all I'm going off of. And Justin Jefferson can take off a game or take over a game. He can. But we forget how bad that Vikings defense is at times. Dayball and Daniel Jones had the biggest improvement from last year in EPA. All right? It's the biggest difference in offense in the league with Dayball and Daniel Jones. And I don't hate the Daniel Jones. I got that off a piece. Sando from The Athletic. Read that today. Shout out to me for reading articles. I had to give my source. I didn't want to say I looked that up. But yeah, it's like Dayball has made an improvement in Daniel Jones, and I wouldn't hate if they gave him a contract. I wouldn't hate it because I don't think he's going to get a max. I don't think he's getting the Kyler Murray deal. And I wouldn't hate it if they gave Daniel Jones a contract. I really wouldn't. It's better than starting over. And if you have to start over, you can trade Daniel Jones after a couple good years and let him go. But let's not get into that. I think this is a really tough game for the Vikings. Even though I believe in Kevin O'Connell. I really do. I just don't. I have the Vikings winning, but I'm telling you, man, the Giants are not to be played with. And imagine the Giants with a receiving core. That's all I'm saying. Like, they got Richie James, Kenny Golladay. Like, bro, who are we throwing to? Bellinger? Like, they don't have anybody to throw to, and they're still hooping. Saquon's doing his thing. Generational talent. Like, fuck me. My Valley girl? Jesus, I haven't even started talking about the California teams yet. Fuck. Well, but yeah, I see this being a tough game for the Vikings, and it's going to be a fun one. So, that's all I got to say. Let's do the AFC games. Jacksonville versus the Chargers is very interesting. Jacksonville is playing at an all-time, they're on a fucking high right now. They smoked 2 blunts, ate an edible, snorted some angel dust off a stripper's ass, and they up in the clouds, bro. Like, they ready. They're ready. Trevor Lawrence is playing like a number 1 pick in the draft right now. And it's not about, once again, in football, there's a lot of number stats that can fool you. Brock Purdy's stats could be bad. He plays winning football. Trevor Lawrence in that Tennessee game played winning football. It don't look like he did much on the stat sheet. He played winning football. He won the game. He did what he needed to do. Threw the touchdown passes he needed to throw to Christian Kirk. You know what I mean? That's the difference in the playoffs. It's not about, honestly, like you can say it's hard to go against this, but I will push against. I will just slightly push against. Let's look at their rosters and see. They have the most talented rosters. They're going to win the title. We can say that, but we've seen that crumble so many times. I just think the Chargers have been a letdown every year. And we can talk about injuries. We can talk about all that. And that's what really this game comes down to is, what are Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker going to do to that O-line? With no Slater. What are they going to do on the outside, bro? I'd be scared to see if I was a Chargers fan. You got 4 active wide receivers. We don't know the status of Mike Will as of this moment. I don't know the status of Mike Will. But if you go out there with Josh Palmer, DeAndre Carter, Gerald Everett, Keenan Allen, good luck winning a football game against that. That Jacksonville defense is not terrible. It's not. It's not good, but it ain't terrible. Going against Doug Peterson, to me, this is a coaching mismatch. Even though the Chargers defense over the last, 3 to 4 weeks has been playing outstanding. They get Derwin back. They've been hooping. All right? But at the same time, Doug Peterson is that dude, bro. Let me tell you, you know what being that dude means? Getting the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars to the playoffs in year 1. When you start out the year with a 25% win percentage, they were 2-6, I believe, to start the year. That is a different level of being that dude, bro. This man has a ring. It's like I don't even know how he was looking for a job for that. If he got fired, I would have hired him the next day, is all I'm saying. I would have hired him the next day on my coaching staff. And maybe he was, he got offers to be coordinators here, coordinators there. And maybe he was looking for the right spot to be, because there's no way he didn't get a couple calls the last year. There's no way. No way. I don't know. He should have been fired and hired to me. It shouldn't have taken a month. Anyways. But yeah, I think the Jags go in, pull that game out. I do. I do think the Jags win that game, bro. I really do. Hate to say it. I did. The Jags are winning that game. So, the Bengals and Ravens game. All right. I got the Bengals winning, obviously. And the only reason is I think they are too high-powered of an offense. I think they have the better quarterback. And I think Lamar Jackson is amazing. I'm not saying there's a huge gap between Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson on the field. I don't. I'm a Lamar Jackson stan. The way that I talked about Jalen Hurts, how I just got on my knees, put my hands behind my back, right? And I just gave you facts. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get sexual. Is what I think about Lamar Jackson. I think we have not seen him with the number 1. They got Deshaun Jackson, an old Deshaun Jackson off the street. They go and get Sammy Watkins. They're trying to make Demarcus Robinson a good football player. They draft Isaiah Likely, yet won't run 12 personnel every game. Every play. Sorry, not every game. Every play. Rashad Bateman. Good player, hurt. He just doesn't have anybody to throw to. All right? I think Lamar Jackson's amazing, but Joe Burrow's been there, done that. He went to a bowl, man. My dog went to a bowl. The window was my career. He's crazy. I just think the Ravens are such a winning organization that they made it here, and that's awesome, and I feel good for them. But their road ends very soon and very quickly as the Bengals run it up on their ass. I think they're too explosive. Yes, they lost Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa. I think that makes for a deeper down the road discussion in the next game or the game after that. But in this game specifically, I don't think it holds that much of an impact to sway the outcome of the game. All right. I think it's an easy one. Bills and Dolphins is the next matchup. I think the Bills smoke them. Mostly if Tua don't play, which it seems that the Dolphins, even though they might think Tua's healthy, and he might be, I think they're scared of the backlash they could get for playing him, to be honest. I really do. But if he plays, the Dolphins can beat anybody. If Tua Tagovailoa plays, the Dolphins can make a Super Bowl run. Quote me here. But their defense is horrific. Defense is bad. I think the Bills are going to walk that shit down. Even though Stephon Diggs has had a hard time with Xavier Howard out there, I don't see them stopping them. And the one thing about the Bills that's really flawed, that's going to hurt them later on to me, is that they abandon the run so quickly. And really where a run game doesn't exist already, it becomes all right, Josh Allen throws 74 times. And you can say that's, like you see guys like Nick Wright kind of shit on Josh Allen while he's a Chiefs fan. Man, you never see somebody abandon the run like the Bills do. I'm talking 14-point lead with 7 minutes left they're throwing. It's fucking crazy. But I got the Bills in that game. Let's just talk about it. Fuck it, man. Fuck it. Buccaneers, Cowboys. All right. So the two teams Dallas is third. The three teams I fear the most are the Eagles, 49ers, and then the Cowboys. And it has nothing to do with their rosters, how talented their defense is or anything. I got Tom Brady, bro. I can say y'all can stop us and hold us to a low-scoring game. But with Tom Brady, those weapons and this defense, even with the season we just had, bro, it's the playoffs. It makes me have a whole new view of things. Does that make sense? Without the run game, by the way, there has never been a Super Bowl champion to average under 3.9 yards per carry. I looked it up. Never been a Super Bowl champ. Or is it 3.7? Either way, whatever the Bucs are averaging, 3.5, 3.3, there's never been a Super Bowl champion to ever win that. A Super Bowl with that yards per attempt on the ground. And Tom Brady just broke the attempts record, pass attempts per season record, or in a season. Can I talk? Against the Falcons, and he only played a half. So that tells you where our offense lies. But with the Cowboys, the one thing I'm scared of is one, their pass rush. Not on Tristan Wirf's side. No, absolutely not. That number 76 on this side, on the left, on this side, the most penalized left tackle in football, and he missed 4 games. That guy, scared of that. Scared of that. Put K. Dotton, put Kyle Rudolph over there, chip whoever's on him. Chip it. And then put Rachaad White or Leonard on a fucking pass protect. Chip it, then pass protect. Only look towards his size. Fuck the inside. That's what I say. No update on Ryan Jensen to me. I haven't seen an update for Ryan Jensen. But either way, the reason I was scared of those teams, San Francisco, Dallas, Eagles, is because of how they play. I'm not calling them dink and dunk offenses. I'm not calling them that. I would say they move the ball efficiently in an annoying way. All right? You see the Philadelphia, right? You see Philadelphia. They'll run the ball 7, 6, 7, play action pass, roll out, 7 to 11 to 15 yards, and then they hit a fucking 20-yarder, and then they run it in for a touchdown. Dallas is so efficient on offense. It is weird to see an offense like Dallas's, right, be in that top 10, top 5 area the way that they play. That's how efficient they are on offense. They aren't some throw it deep like the Bucks were last year. They don't chunk that shit all the time. They are a 7, 5, 3, 7, 8, 10, 11, 25 touchdown offense. And that shit is annoying, and that's the shit that kills the Bucks. The Buccaneers are really conservative. We lay back a little bit, and if we don't, we're blitzing, playing press coverage, and you can get one-on-one looks with CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith all game. And that's a scary proposition in the playoffs. We saw what happened. What ended our season last year? An all-out blitz on third down with what? I think 25 seconds left, whatever it was. And we get a bomb. Antoine Winfield is covering Cooper Kupp in the middle of the field, man-to-man, because we all-out blitz like Todd Bowles always does. He stuck to his guns. I respect it. Ended the game with like a 30-yard field goal. That shit can happen again. And that's what makes me nervous. I believe in Carlton Davis. I do. I have questions about our offense still. I don't care about the 200-yard Mike Evans game, 400-yard Tom Brady game. I still have questions about this team, and that's not good going into the playoffs at all. You don't want to have questions about your team. But going against a team like Dallas right now, who has been playing awful. The last 2 weeks, they have played awful. And I'm not basing their season on 2 weeks, right? But you got teams like the fucking San Francisco 49ers on a 10-game win streak. You got the Eagles who just got their starting quarterback back. And then you have Dallas who has, and I hate to say it because I really did stop with the Dak hate. I stopped. Whether you want to admit it or not, he has become the most turnover-prone quarterback in the NFL. Whether it's dropping passes by receivers, whether it's just making bad reads, whether it's lucky plays by Sweaty on Philly, whatever you want to say, he has the most picks in the NFL, and he missed, 5 weeks? Something like that, 4 or 5 weeks? Against a defense who hasn't forced many turnovers, but the way Dak is giving them to the defense is alarming. And if you give us a couple extra possessions, good luck. Because that's all we've needed the whole season is a turnover or two. And it's not a crazy take. It's the most common thing in football. Whoever wins a turnover battle wins the game. The Bucks don't turn the ball over. Yes, Tom Brady went through this weird 4-week span of throwing 7 interceptions or whatever it was, right? But when it comes down to it, the Bucks don't turn the ball over. We end all of our possessions on a kick. I'll tell you that, and that's what every fucking coach wants. Sometimes the kicks come with like 10 or after 3 plays and a minute and 10 seconds. Sometimes they come after 8 minutes and getting stopped in the red zone, but we still kick the ball. And after that week 1 matchup, you can't, like if it was any other week but week 1, I would have something to say about that matchup against the Cowboys. I can't make nothing of that matchup. These are 2 completely separate teams. This is not the same Bucks team we saw week 1. I feel like week 1 was one of our best weeks. Even we went against one of the best defenses in football still right now, other than losing some pass rushers, losing some coverage. Like they've had injuries on that side of the football. So they don't look the same, which is good for us as Bucks fans. But that makes me not judge that first game worth shit. We've had injuries as well. We don't have Shaq Barrett. He's the one that got home to Dak to break his thumb. We don't have that guy anymore. He's gone. Gone for the season. I just think, like every playoff game, but this one especially is going to come down to, usually I say trenches, but specifically this one, pass rushing. Can Joe Tryon get back there? Can Willie Golson get back there? Can Carl Nassib get back there? Will Micah just line up on fucking Donovan Smith all game, which they should? If Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn have a brain, just put 11 on 76, bro. And you'll win the fucking game by default. You'll win. You'll win. You'll fucking win. But as a Bucks fan, I will have the reaction. I will do all that. Did I miss a game? Did I miss a game at all? Let's go look. Let's go look if I missed a game. All right, so I did the Seahawks 49ers, not a big deal. Okay. Oh, I did every matchup. Okay, hey. We are good to go, man. I hope y'all have a great day, great night, wherever you're listening, however you're listening. I wish you all the best. I love you all, and I'm out. Deuces, bitch. I will give my Super Bowl prediction on the next podcast. Peace.